What's up, everybody? Durkee Turkey here, coming at you with more Dick with Butt news. Now I'm going to be looking over the Dick with Butt price chart today, and people think that meme coins are going to die. That they are not die, but they're going to die down, and they're going to go away. And I'm going to be responding to some of those things and some of these arguments and some of these things that people say. And I'm going to give you a little bit of advice, a little bit of a tip, and a little bit of a history into a little bit about me and how I became successful with crypto and my success story with it. So let's dive right into it. Now, here we see the Dick with Butt price chart as always. Now, I keep calling this resistance. I had a buddy call me and he was like, this is technically called a support. And I was like, oh. Yeah, I knew that. Anyway, I keep calling it a resistance. No, it's a support. It's a support. I'm dumb. It's support. Anyway, we fell through the support. Sick! Anyway, we went straight the fuck through it. We are... I would say we're just going down. Like, how much lower could we go? I would say somewhere between 70 and 80%. That would be where I'd feel the most comfortable. But is this the end? And do I think that Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, Dick with Butt, and a lot of these other tokens, these Tangang tokens like Peach, Pear, what's gonna happen to them, and is the meme coin phase going to die out? Well, let me just start by saying that the reason we've been dipping is because, well, the whole market's dipping. Like, there's shit going on outside of Florida right now with Russian tanks, or not Russian tanks, Russian submarines and shit. So everyone over here is all like, oh. No, actually, no one gives a shit. But, of course, that affects the whole market, so whatever. Anyway, I'm still bullish as all hell for the Ethereum ETF. Whenever that starts trading, that's when I'm going to start paying attention a little bit more and being, like, hyper fucking focused, because it's like right now I'm just stacking. I'm stacking my bags, I'm reading what's going on, and once that Ethereum ETF hits, it's fucking game on. Like, I'm waiting for that. That's all that fucking matters. And I guess that might be in July. I don't know. I thought it was supposed to be this month, but it might be July, like early July. I don't know, though. I'm just waiting to see how that turns out. Anyway, guys, so we have here's the first thing that I'm going to talk about as far as Twitter posts go. Lil Pump, of course, got Solana tattooed on his fucking dumb fuck-ass forehead. I joke about it, but I promise you guys, I will never get a fucking Dick with Butt tattoo.
Oh, let me get this straight. You want a tattoo of a butt, which has a butt-shaped tattoo on it?
Yeah. And I want it right on my butt.
I promise, okay? I only am doing that for the greater good of the Dick with Butt army, because if I were to do something that dumb, it's over. It's over. It's already dumb enough that I'm dressing up as a dick with a butt, okay? I'm not going out and getting a fucking tattoo of this shit. That's absurdly stupid. Like, that would be like the ultimate top signal for Dick with Butt. There needs to be laws and regulations on getting tattoos of your favorite shitcoin, because, god damn it, you're fucking it up for the rest of us. Quit it! We already all know that it's the universal signal of the top. This fucking doofus here is getting a fucking Solana tattoo on his fucking forehead. Now Solana is fucked. You've doomed them all. Thanks, Lil Pump. Now, I want to talk about also Crypto Coffee made a post about some of the stuff that specifically, I think he's kind of leaning in towards stuff that the Tangang is doing, but let's talk about it. Linking meme to meme liquidity might be sticky in a bowl, but in the next bear, mark my words, everyone will run straight for the door. The first net will be Pulse, maybe Hex, maybe Pulse X, Pulse Yield, but ultimately USD. I responded with a very simple, everything is a meme. everything is a meme. Now, this clown here was like, apart from Hex, only unique, fully trustless, and safe coin, and I just responded with no. No. Listen. Hex is the biggest fucking meme on the blockchain. Like, it's not just like a massive fucking meme. It's one of possibly the most successful fucking memes.
What do you want people to know about you?
I got a big dick.
I was able to onboard people into Hex. No, listen to this. I was able to onboard people into Hex because a lot of serious fucking people who are like, oh, I'm a serious investor. You know, they tell you don't show those kind of people Richard Hart. I showed people those Richard Hart streams, and some of these people, I would guess you would call them Zoomers. They're younger. They're in their 20s, early 20s. I showed them Richard Hart streams of him dressing up like an absolute fucking dipshit, wearing these stupid ass fucking clothes, walking around, calling people fucking dipshits and idiots and retards, and talking about how he used to pwn people in fucking StarCraft. Those were like the early days of his streams, and I was showing people this shit. And I shit you not, quite a lot of my friends that were in like their early 20s, like literally like 21, 22, 23, they were watching those streams being like, holy fuck, I want all in. Because the dude is such a fucking clown. He's a meme. They were like, holy fuck, that's hilarious. How do I buy all of it?
Put it all in.
All what?
All of her house money.
And I was like, you go onto Uniswap and you fucking trade your ETH for fucking Hex. And they were like, dude, I'm going all in, fucking staking. They're like, I'm gonna put in like $1,000 into a fucking 5555 stake. Like, just because of that, they were like, fuck it. And I'm like, you guys are fucking retarded, but okay. And they're like, yeah, dude, it's hilarious. One of the reasons I went into the Pulse Chain ecosystem is because I think Richard's one of the funniest fucking memes out there. I don't hate Richard at all. I think he's fucking hilarious. And that's why I think that Pulse Chain and Hex are going to do well, is because he doesn't give a shit. He's funny as fuck. And there's so many butthurt people out there who are like, he's not serious enough, he does this and that. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? It's funny. It's entertaining. It gets people to look. I don't give a shit. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. I see it as fucking entertainment value. So no, Mr. Hex is king. Hex is not immune to being a massive meme. As a matter of fact, it's a massive fucking meme. It's a huge fucking meme. And the US dollar is a fucking meme. It's all a fucking meme, dude. Literally fucking all of it.
Coins are great. It's community coin. You can create it. It's awesome. Easy to DeFi, Aave, Compound, all that. Digital asset ownership with NFTs and so on and so forth. These are net positives in my opinion, but where do meme coins take us? I mean, meme coins are great. It's community coin. You can create it. It's awesome, easy to start. Everyone can be part of it from the beginning. It's fun. You can be early adopter of meme coin. If you use, for example, Pump.fun, you can be one of the few early buyers of a coin before it gets listed on the real dexes. So there's definitely a benefit to them, and that's why they're so big, because it's a reaction against all of this like tech mambo jumbo and private rounds and all of that. But at the same time, the market needs to stay excited. For the new ones to be successful, the market needs to stay excited. And after 1,000 memes, it just, for me at least, becomes a bit tiring. There are no compelling visions of how they extend into or improve everyday life. Well, I would say there are some compelling visions to that. I mean, it's not true that there's no compelling vision. I think there is some compelling vision. Let's say that we have a community online and we create a meme coin, and it's just for our community. It's useless meme coin. We don't worry about the SEC because it's just a meme coin, and we pump it, and like we have a community. If you have the meme coin, you can join our community. I mean, as a community thing, I actually think meme coins are great. Like as a community thing. And in the future, you're gonna have kids on the playground like creating their own meme coins, because why not? You remember as a kid, it was fun to like create stuff. It wasn't really possible to do it in a good way when I was a kid, at least. But we played around with like Pokemon card, different kind of card. But always it was fun to create something on your own. And that's how I entered into programming, because I wanted to program games. And so when I was 9, I started to like study how the hell to create a game. So now, with all of these tools for kids, I think it's gonna be massive. You're gonna have like playground kids creating this meme coins, pumping and trading them, because why not? It's possible to do from your phone, and they're living in their phones. So I mean, meme coins are fantastic. They have a big use case, but crypto is just so much more. And it's definitely just the one of the few use cases that are really big right now. Sure, they're entertainment products and new avenue of monetizing attention, but that doesn't feel enduring or inspiring. See, this is the problem. Like most meme coins, they're dead before arrival. And you also see meme coins themselves being corrupted. For example, the Andrew Tate meme coin, apparently there's a lot of insider trading here going on, according to Bubble Maps at least. Basically that some addresses were buying it before it became known that he's behind it. You can read more of this thread, and they basically analyze all of
Yeah, before he continues to go on too much longer. Anyway, so the thing that I wanted to point out about this was more of the whole thing of the community base with meme coin. So Ivan himself has stated that he isn't super, like, he doesn't think that the whole meme coin thing is going to continue on forever. And the only thing that I have to say to that is, yeah, maybe. Like, I think that meme coins will always be around, and there will be hype and, dips and everything like that within the meme coin cycle. Like, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. Some new tech could end up coming up in the future, but right now it's fucking memes. So you might as well. And like memes themselves, like non-crypto related, they're not going anywhere. So like, memes are always going to be around, especially meme coins. Now, one thing really interesting that I like about Ivan and that he was kind of talking about here is this idea of anyone can create these things and anyone can learn how to do this kind of stuff. And Ivan, he's a programmer. He learned how to program himself when he was younger. He wanted to make games and stuff like that. Now, I want to tell you guys about my history in crypto a little bit, and I want to tell you guys a little bit about like my success story as to how I got into this space and I made money, because it's a little similar to Ivan's, but not exactly. So, as a child, I was very fortunate. I was a 90s child, and I was very fortunate. I grew up in a household where I had my own computer. I was 4 or 5 years old when I had my own computer. Like, it was mine. It was my computer. So, like, that was like unheard of in the 90s. Like, I had like Windows 95 on my PC, and it was like, yeah, no, that's my computer. And then, we upgraded it to Windows XP. We had, dial-up. I used to have floppy disks, like floppies, like you look inside and it's like they're floppy, dude. Like, they're a floppy disk. You know what I mean? So I grew up around computers. I grew up around liking this kind of stuff. And getting into crypto, for me, what it was I was like, oh, I can turn on my computer and I can mine Bitcoin and use that to buy RuneScape GP? Whoa! No. Anyway, so that was kind of the start of it. Another thing is, by the time I was like a teenager, I was in high school. I was, senior, junior in high school, and I was already starting to go to college, like part-time, and my college classes were all computer-based classes. So we had gotten grants from the school to build supercomputers. Specifically, I did, because me and a group of friends did, because we were top of our class, so they gave us this money to build supercomputers. And they were like, the only thing is that they have to be designed for something specific. Like, are you going to host a server with them? Like, maybe a game server? Are you going to use them as a NAS? Are you going to use them for are you going to network them together and have them talk amongst each other and build this massive network? And I was like, fuck all of that. I'm going to use them to mine cryptocurrency, specifically fucking Bitcoin. So that's what we did. We took these huge machines, we got grant money, and we built these huge machines, and that's what we did. I still hold Bitcoin that I had mined on those machines to this day. Now, the thing is I did not get into crypto with the idea of, like, I'm going to get rich. For me, it was like, oh, this is this new interesting way to make money as someone who likes building computers. here you go. Here's like this way you can make money doing it. And I was like, well, I want to learn how to do that. That sounds interesting. I had these huge graphics cards. I mean, they weren't top of the line, but I had two 6950s in 2012 running Crossfire. Like, they were big graphics cards. Like, I was able to mine a decent amount with them. And then plus I had the computers at the school that I was using to mine cryptocurrency with. And they were just going straight into my wallet. I was, I'm a Mt. Gox victim. It's such a small amount of Bitcoin. I don't even feel like trying to go through the paperwork of trying to claim it. I got into Ethereum fairly early, and Ethereum, it was kind of like, oh, this idea of like, basically like the Internet of Things. Like, you can just like, everything has an address, everything has an IP, anyone can create a smart contract. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, not just being able to buy and send, or buy and sell, or send and receive. You can actually, like, build shit on top of it. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then it's like, oh, well, have you heard of Uniswap? And it's like, no, what is this magical Uniswap you speak of? And then people were like, yeah, you can just go out there and buy things. And I'm like, you're telling me I don't have to use an exchange? I don't have to use an exchange anymore? What the fuck? And then it was like, hey, have you heard of NFTs? And then it just went on and on and on and on and on. And then it's like, well, now instead of mining, you validate. And it's like, okay, so what do you have to do to validate? And what are the requirements to do those kinds of things? Well, you can do, you can fully host one, or you can do liquid staking, or you can do pooled staking and things like that. And really what it is the way you get rich in crypto, from my experience, is you experiment with things without the intention of getting rich. It's for me and what I did, because I didn't get into a lot of this stuff being like, I'm going to make millions. I got into this stuff because I was like, well, this sounds like fun. This sounds like fun, and like, I'm making money doing it. Why the fuck wouldn't I do it? I get an excuse to build computers. I get an excuse. Like, when I built my first validator for Ethereum, I do run my own Ethereum validator. When I built my first one, it's like, I literally just, I went and bought all the parts for it, and I was just excited to build it and put it together and get it up and running and do all the shit for it. And it's like, I like doing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Now, the way that I learned about liquidity, and I'm not going to shill it too heavily, but I made my own meme token. And I understand a little bit about how the marketing behind that kind of stuff works, and I understand a little bit now more about the liquidity side of things, but I really started, like, the whole things about, like, Hart's Law and liquidity providing really started to click with me when I made my own token. And so, and I didn't make my own token with the thought of, I'm going to get rich off of this. I did it because I was like, can I do it? And I did. And as a matter of fact, my original meme token idea was not to create a Pulse Chain token. It wasn't even to create a token on Ethereum or any other smart contract. I actually originally forked Litecoin. So I made it a proof of work. And I had it running on several different servers. I had a bunch of virtual machines running and doing the mining for it, and just kind of sending it back and forth. And me and a couple buddies were sending our token back and forth to each other, and we were all mining it. And I sent them the mining software, and they were using it, and we were just kind of sitting there fucking around. And I was like, I just sent you tokens. And then it was like one night we were playing blackjack online, and I was like, yo, instead of the fucking chips, why don't we bet the token instead? And that's what we did. We just used the token as part of it, because we could just send it back and forth to each other, and it was, it didn't cost us hardly anything. It was just a fun community thing. It was like an inside joke amongst all of us. And that was like the beginning of like me, making my own token, and then learning how liquidity works and all this stuff. Now, literally one of the times, or around the time that I had graduated from high school and I was just starting to get into college, I had a good friend. He was a really good friend. I had known him since middle school, and he taught me how to longboard when I was around like 18, 19. I know that it looks like I can't fucking longboard for shit because I'm wearing a giant dick with a butt costume, and fucking yeah, that thing's like hard to see out of, and like I can't see where my footing is on that shit. I can't balance with it because it's really wobbly. Like the whole thing, it feels all off when you're fucking wearing that shit, and like half of it's like falling apart and shit sometimes. So it's like I gotta hold this side so that way it doesn't rip, and so like it's hard to like balance on a board while wearing that shit. But one thing that he said when I was first learning how to longboard, because I was nervous, you know, as you would expect, going down a big hill, you know, and actually, as a matter of fact, the first time I ever went down a giant hill, I actually broke my foot. I got the wobbles on the board, jumped off the board, which you're not supposed to do, and I smashed the fuck out of my heel. And the thing that he told me before I did that was, he said, he's like, I can only teach you so much about the board. I can only teach you so much about, you know, keeping balance and, you know, kind of how to keep your footing and all this shit. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to stop being a fucking pussy and just go for it. So for those of you who are sitting there wondering, like, how do I LP? How do I do this stuff? How do I launch my own meme token? How do I build a community? How do I go out and create memes? How do I go out and, you know, LP and validate and all this shit? What I got to tell you is do your research on it. But at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is don't be a fucking pussy. Just fucking try it. Just fucking do it. Like, you're not going to get rich sitting there researching for hundreds of hours, you know. At some point, you just got to act on what you want to do. And I feel like one of the best ways to do that is by literally going out and taking these fucking meme tokens that, you know, you might have bought like $20 worth, and then maybe you got a free airdrop on top of that, and go just make a liquidity pair with it and see what the fuck happens. Because, you know, Crypto Coffee, he was talking about like, oh, well, all these meme tokens that are all paired to each other, you know, it's all fun and games for now. But for now, yeah, it is all fun and games. So you might as well go out and try it. You know, what do you have to lose? What do I have to lose with this Pulse GB pair? 26 bucks? I don't care. Fuck, I'd put $200 in. If I lost it, I wouldn't care. I could put in, you know, 800, maybe $1,000 if I lost it. It's whatever to me. I don't give a fuck. Eventually, at some point, because like when I was mining Bitcoin, I was mining, you know, maybe $20 a month worth of Bitcoin. That $20 a month, that's now tens of thousands of dollars. So you don't know. These things grow over time. These things can become bigger, and they will only continue to get bigger, and you will only continue to learn more about the things that you're doing and liquidity providing and validating and becoming part of the ecosystem by going out and doing these things and experimenting without the idea of, oh, I'm going to get rich. You got to just go out and just do it. You just got to go out and do it and just learn how to do it. Make pairs with things like Pear and Nanana, or like Dick with Butt and HOA, or just these fun ones. Because then if you can learn how to LP with these successfully, you can LP anything. Like, if you can learn how these things work, what's to stop you from creating, you know, really successful liquidity pairs with other things? Go out and just do it. Learn. Take a risk. Quit being a fucking pussy. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, everything down below in the comments. Show me you guys fucking love this content. Show me the love, baby. And I will continue to show you the love as well. Now, I'm going to be possibly off tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be making a video tomorrow. I'll definitely be posting on Twitter some memes for you. But as far as the video goes, I'm not sure because I have some obligation that I have to take care of. Anyways, guys, also, as always, none of this is financial advice. Do your own fucking research, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.